Verse-by-verse meditations. Genesis chapter 10. Genesis chapter 10, verse 15. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. Today's verse mentions 2 of the 11 named sons of Canaan. Here we can find Sidon, the firstborn of Canaan. He is along the coastline to the north of Israel. As we can see, the nation of Israel would have another group of sea peoples near their borders, in addition to the Philistines. The nation to the north of Israel is known as Phoenicia, that came from Canaan's first son, Sidon. As Phoenicia was a seafaring trade country, it was their form of writing that would dominate the then known world. They traveled to many of the countries along the Mediterranean coastlines, trading. And because they would have to document these trades, this is how their language became so prevalent in writing. Many of the written languages of today have their origins in the early Phoenician alphabet. The Lord Jesus himself, he traveled as far south as Egypt and as far north as Phoenicia. There are 2 notable women from this region: the widow of Zarephath that fed Elijah and whose son was raised from the dead. 1 Kings chapter 17 verse 10. So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her, and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. The other notable woman of Phoenicia was the Syrophoenician woman that asked for the crumbs that fell from the Lord's table, and her daughter was delivered of an evil spirit. In Matthew chapter 15 and verse 27, and she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Here we see the peoples of Heth. The land of Heth is what we would know as the land of the Hittites. The most famous Hittite is one of King David's mighty men, Uriah the Hittite. David would have him killed and then marry his wife Bathsheba, who would later give birth to Solomon. In 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 9, Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Sidon, or sometimes you will see Zidon with a Z, and Heth would be prominent players throughout the history of Israel. Lebanon, which is Sidon, and Turkey, which is primarily from Heth, are the countries that represent these 2 sons of Canaan on today's map. Here we can see Lebanon, which is north of Israel, where Zidon would have settled. Its capital today is Beirut. And Turkey is where the majority of the Hittite kingdom was. Now, the Hittite kingdom would not be all of Turkey, but more central and even parts of Syria, the Hittite Empire at one point had control over.